Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all doing fine. I just wanted to let you know that this vlog will be a little bit different from the previous ones. That means you will not only see exclusively the content of one day, you will see the content of several days, because we're now with my friend and I do not really have time to record a lot of content for you. So the video you're seeing now is going to include the content of several days here in San Diego. Really 1 month not being home, but I feel like being in Stuttgart on the Theodor-Heuss-Straße on a Friday or Saturday evening when everyone goes out partying. To explain you what's the Theodor-Heuss-Straße, this is the street in Stuttgart, which is Stuttgart's party mile, and we were just sitting in the car looking at each other and we're saying, hey, damn it, we found San Diego's Theodor-Heuss-Straße. Simply amazing. We just figured out why we're standing 45 minutes in a traffic jam in downtown San Diego. There was probably a baseball or football match tonight, so American football match, and everyone is trying to get out the parking lots. Plus it's a Saturday evening and everyone went clubbing, and as some of you might aware, clubs are closing at 1 a.m. in the morning in the US compared to Europe, where we usually went just out of the house at that time. And we were actually just heading here because of that thing here, which is apparently there. And it looks nice. And that was the whole reason why we were driving here and got into that damn bloody traffic jam. Yeah, my buddy is still not home. So we decided to drive across downtown San Diego to have a look how it looks like, to experience the nightlife. But they're all around traffic jams, and we even have difficulties now to go back to the highway. Honestly, I do not understand why people are standing in line at 10:30 in the evening if the clubs are closing at 1 a.m. in the morning. Like, they have roughly 2.5 hours to go party, and they have to wait at least for 1 more hour to get in the club. That does not really make any sense for me. Or is San Diego a city where they can go partying like in Europe until 6 or 7 in the morning? If you guys have the answer, please leave a comment. And we were finally able to make it out of the downtown area, and now we're heading to my friend's house. So we are basically going to repark the Beamer now and park it up there somewhere on the street, so that my buddy can exit his driveway with his truck if he needs to. It's so nice if you enter your friend's house and he's not there yet, but he's already waiting for you for almost the last 2 months, and this is where we're going to stay. We're definitely not going to starve here. Look what my friend left us here. I can't wait to try all of this stuff. Most likely we're going to change our Beamer for our friend's tiny little car here. In that way we can save some money. And yeah, he will give us the car, he will provide us with the car, and we will be able to travel around the San Diego area. Let's quickly go to visit AutoZone. And some really interesting fact, it's just having like 26 degrees Celsius out there, but I feel like in the oven, it's just like too hot. When I saw these things in New York, I was ever thinking that would be like a special license plate holder, so that the cops wouldn't see your full license plate in case that you get radared from the side. But actually that thing is a protection for your bumper. In fact, if someone is crashing your car, or better said, bumper to bumper it, so that the impact on your car is getting reduced. Interesting. AutoZone is more than less like ATU in the past before it was bought by the French. And yeah, they have like several tools for the cars, battery, liquids, but overall I was expecting a little bit more from AutoZone, but it is like it is. And now I'm heading quickly over the road to my wife. She's waiting for me that we go together to the supermarket. Well, that's also amazing. Do you see that? It looks like a palm, but actually it's a 5G tower, a cell phone tower. Interesting. So I'm quickly going to the car and start unloading all of my belongings out of the car. For the reason that I have a cold, we anyway won't use it until I'm not recovered. And so I'm getting out all of our belongings, and today we're going to drop it off at the airport. Yeah, let's get everything out, including the memories. But first, let's start with the big stuff. So apparently I got all of my stuff out of the car. Well, at least in the front. Now I have to grab everything which I throw into the trunk and carry it over to the house. I just have to come back one more time to pick up the stuff for the bed. 13,180 kilometers, and we drove almost 2,973 kilometers, or better said, we drove almost 3,000 kilometers and spent in the car 2 days and 14 hours. We're basically filling up the car for one last time before we're returning it now at the airport. And yeah, it had been fun, even if I had my difficulties the first 3 days with the car, going from EV back to conventional cars. That was a little bit a nightmare, but after the 4th day I got used to it again. Well, the time of cheap gas in the US is definitely over. We're almost done with this chapter and we're going to drop off the car now. Should I leave all of the units in the metric system? Or should I switch everything over to Imperial so that no one would mess up with that car after I returned it?
Halb rechts. Du hast den Parkplatz deines Ziels erreicht.
Drop off the car, you won't be able to return anymore. Okie dokie, we dropped off the car at our final destination, which is going to be the San Diego International Airport, not West Hollywood anymore. Like we were thinking to drop off the car there, we could thankfully change it to drop the car off here. And yeah, we drove 2,992 kilometers and 100 meters. We had an average consumption of 7.9 liters, and the car is having 13,199 kilometers and requires service already. As you can see, I'm over the oil change by 600 kilometers already. There shouldn't be any issues, but if we would have kept a car longer, we would definitely replace the car for another one. Being me, being gentle, I gonna switch the car over to be an American car again. So that means I gonna switch everything from the metric system back to the Imperial system, so that people wouldn't get confused with the car. And this is what I'm actually doing right now, because other than that they will hate me, and I don't want to pay additional charges. So we put everything back to normal, back to standard, and yeah, they shouldn't have any issues anymore. We're dropping the car off now. So this is it. It's time to say goodbye. It's really great to be a 6th customer. I'm not kidding. I only realized they became real BMW friends, as you can see here. If I'm going to continue as I do, people will shortly call me the Haribo expert instead of the car expert. By the way, do you know that the kosher Gummibärchen are made out of fish gelatin? And for everyone who loves marinades, that marinade is the best ever. Something really interesting what I realized here in the US is that they're still borrowing DVDs. And yeah, you can borrow a DVD or a Blu-ray, watch the movie, and return it. I think that's much easier. This is how it actually looks like if I want to work and finish my vlogs for you guys and doing some research, and someone is hungry and want to persuade me to get the threads out of that box and feed him. But it's enough, and now let me continue to work, please. Today was actually the first time in 6 days we decided to leave the house, and we drove to the pier in San Diego to have a look on the USS Midway. And it's really impressive to come so close to a former US naval ship. And as you can hear, we're not recovered yet, and we're going to return soon to the house. What I didn't realize that there are so many US naval bases in San Diego. So on the one hand, you see the old USS Midway here, but in the rear you're having new naval ships and aircraft carriers which are currently under maintenance or for resupply here. And on the way back to the parking spot, we went through Seaport Village, which is, well, a small area where you can eat something and get some souvenirs. There are a lot of EVs in California, but I wouldn't call it Norway. We're just thinking, why are we in the traffic jam? Because they're having their Oktoberfest. Okay, Mercedes has definitely some issues to get rid of the electric cars in the US. I'm currently at the Mercedes-Benz dealership of San Diego, and wherever I look I see electric cars. Unsold cars. Honestly, I'm a little bit shocked of the quality of the car, because underneath they're using all hard plastic. Even below here they use hard plastic instead of soft touch. The same thing here, and only here they applied some soft touch here, and the rest is completely plastic. I'm a little bit shocked, to be honest. Soon going to be with NACS. I don't really know if it makes sense if Mercedes is building AMG version of electric cars, because they're basically the same. Also, what I do not really like is the new Hyperscreen, where they claim to have one giant screen, but in fact that are 3 single screens with a really low resolution, and you see that they're apart from each other. And who came up with that rear door window design? Funny thing, the sales guys from Mercedes forgot the key somewhere in the car, and the car is warning us to do not leave the key here. Actually, you see that flashing here? I don't see it with my normal eyes. That are cameras which have to check if you're sleepy or not in order to be able to stop the car fully automatically. We would definitely have preferred to sleep for 2 nights in the Sprinter, but I think it had been much cheaper to rent a BMW. Don't get me wrong, the electric Mercedes does not really look bad, but as you can see, something is wrong here, and you see it if you look around on the parking spot. Thankfully, all of the old J1772 charging station can be reused with NACS, because there's already an adapter for it. And also funny that they're using the dryer plug in order to charge their electric cars. Okay, let's go and check out the public charging station of the Mercedes-Benz dealership here. They have some level 2 charging, really slow level 3 charging, with which they're barely charging the car with 20 kilowatts. AC charging with 32 amperes is faster in Europe. This place is simple, hilarious. I can't say it differently. Like, if you're used from bad customer service at Mercedes-Benz dealerships in Germany, the one in San Diego is really like above everything. Because I came here, I looked around, I was looking at all of the cars. No one really asked me if I would need assistance, help, similar test drive. And yeah, really, this is like worse if you go to the most snobby Mercedes dealership in Germany. And that's fascinating, honestly. Because I was asking myself in the beginning, how could it be that the yard is full with new Mercedes EQ models, or in general fully covered with other Mercedes cars? And then I figured out customer service sucks. A taco to go, and our friend was waiting for me again. We finally made it to get some pancakes, right? Hello everyone. I know, it's just one vlog for our time in San Diego, but it's time to leave. 10 days passed by. Can we believe that we have spent 10 days here? The time went by in a... Yeah, and now we're up to head to LA to the airport. Okay, we put everything in the car, and now we're leaving. I cannot believe it, we are almost at the airport and going to leave the country. It was like yesterday when we entered the USA over the bridge at Niagara Falls. Our friend Keith just dropped us off at the airport in LA, and now we're going to board our plane and heading to our next adventure.